The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered, towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices, with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions. The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary. With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet.
Establishment owners carry a big responsibility to comply with labor laws, including submitting reports and providing documents like payroll records during inspections. But the manual filing process is a major challenge. They need to spend time, money, and effort to fill out forms and deliver them to the DOLE office, often dealing with traffic and delays. Sometimes, there's a long wait just to confirm if the report is accurate and complete. And it's not just employers facing difficulties. DOLE employees also struggle with limited manpower and the time-consuming task of reviewing and processing these reports. The time has come for change. What's required now is a more innovative, streamlined, and efficient process for handling compliance reports, one that will simplify life not just for businesses but also for DOLE employees. Welcome to the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, your all-in-one platform for seamless compliance submissions, designed to make compliance easier and more convenient for establishment owners. Telecommuting reports? Flexible work arrangement submissions? Reporting the 13th month pay? No problem. Even work accident or illness reports and the annual establishment report on wages, everything you need is now in one convenient portal. Plus, the online compliance portal now includes the latest requirement for reporting movie and television shoots under Department Order 246, Series of 2024. All your compliance needs in one place, quick, secure, and hassle-free. With the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, registering your establishment is a breeze. Our automatic registration system ensures you are instantly compliant with OSH Standard Rule 1020. Once submitted, your certificate of registration is immediately available for download, saving you time and effort. Need to manage your workforce details? The portal allows you to upload your employees' names and details using a CSV template. Once uploaded, these details are readily available for reports like the Flexible Work Arrangement Report, where selecting affected employees is as easy as a click. If your establishment has been flagged for non-compliance during labor inspection, don't worry. Required documents can be submitted quickly and conveniently. And if you're missing certain policies, like a mental health program or OSH program, we've got you covered with downloadable templates. Submit these documents directly through the portal, where Dole inspectors will review, provide feedback, and keep you on track for compliance. With admin access on the Dole compliance portal, labor inspectors can easily review submitted reports and documents from establishments. If further verification is needed, they can schedule an online meeting through Google Meet, all within the portal. This streamlines compliance checks, saving time and making the process more efficient for everyone. It's a smarter, more efficient way to stay compliant and keep your business running smoothly. Welcome to a new era of compliance, simplified, fast, and effective with the Dole Online Compliance Portal.
Magandang hapon sa lahat ng ating viewers. Mula sa DOLE Bureau of Working Conditions, I'm Jovelyn V. Esguerra, and welcome sa ating 2 p.m. habit tuwing Miyerkules. Webinar Wednesday, nasa Season 3, Episode 3 na po tayo. As always po, nandito tayo para magbigay ng mahalagang impormasyon tungkol sa karapatan at benepisyo ng ating mga manggagawa. At ngayong hapon, tatalakayin natin ang isa sa pinaka-common concerns ng mga empleyado. Ito po ang kanilang final pay. Sa bawat career, iba-iba ang pinagdadaanan natin. May mga bagong nag-a-apply, may lumilipat ng mga trabaho, at syempre, may mga nagre-resign o natatapos ang kontrata. Pero iisa lang ang tanong ng karamihan. Ano-ano ang dapat kong matanggap sa aking final pay? And kailan ito dapat ibigay? Paano kung hindi ito naibigay ng aking employer? Ngayong hapon, we'll answer these important questions para maliwanagan tayo tungkol sa proseso ng final pay or ang last pay. Alinsunod sa ating labor laws at patnubay ng DOLE Bureau of Working Conditions. Bago tayo magsimula, let's take a moment to seek guidance through a short prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today with hearts full of gratitude for the opportunity to gather in this webinar. We thank you for the gift of technology that allows us to connect, learn, and grow even from afar. We ask for your guidance and wisdom for every speaker and participant, so that we may share valuable and inspiring insights. Help us listen with open minds and hearts, eager to learn from one another. Grant us clarity of thought and expression, making our discussions meaningful and impactful. We pray that this session fosters understanding, collaboration, and the sharing of knowledge that benefits everyone. May your presence be felt in our midst, encouraging a spiritual of unity and respect. We trust in your divine wisdom to lead us through any challenges or difficulties we may face today. As we conclude this time together, May we carry forward the lessons we have learned with a renewed sense of purpose and dedication. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Bago natin simulan ang ating discussion, may ilang reminders tayo para sa ating mga viewers. Please like and share ang ating Facebook Live para mas marami pang employees at employers ang makinabang sa impormasyong ito. Use the comment section para sa inyong mga tanong. Sasagutin ito ng ating speaker mamaya sa Q&A portion. Then avoid spamming sa comment section para smooth ang ating discussion. If you miss the live session, no worries po. The webinar will be available on our Facebook page so you can watch anytime. So ready na po ba tayo? Tara, simulan na po natin. Para ipaliwanag ng malinaw at detalyado ang tungkol sa final pay, kasama natin ngayong hapon ang ating speaker mula sa Policy and Program Development Division ng DOLE Bureau of Working Conditions. Without further ado, let's all welcome Ms. Diana Cardenas. Ms. Diana, magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon, Miss Jovelyn, and thank you and good afternoon sa FB viewers natin. Again, welcome to our Season 3, Episode 3, and ang topic natin for today is about final pay. So dito po malalaman natin kung ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng final pay at kung gaano ba ito katagal dapat makuha ng isang empleyado. At i-discuss din po natin dito ang Certificate of Employment or ang COE na tinatawag. So let's start the discussion. So next slide please. So the Department of Labor and Employment issued a labor advisory on the guidelines on the payment of final pay and issuance of Certificate of Employment. So ito po ang labor advisory natin, number 6, series of 2020, and it was signed last January 31, 2020. So ito pong labor advisory na ito ay reference natin kung ano-ano nga po ba ang dapat nakasama sa final pay na dapat matanggap ng isang empleyado. So ano po ba ang legal basis nitong labor advisory na ito? So this is pursuant to Articles 4, 103, 116, 118 of the Labor Code of the Philippines as amended, and Section 10, Rule 14, Book 5 of its Omnibus Implementing Rules and Regulation. So next slide po please. So sa labor advisory na po ito is mayroon tayong 4 sections. So sa Section 1, definition of terms. So dito po makikita kung ano po ang nakadefine na terms sa nilalaman ng labor advisory. So sa Section 2 naman po, time of payment or release of final pay. So dito po nakasaad kung ilang araw nga lang po ba dapat bago makuha ang final pay. So sa Section 3 naman po, issuance of Certificate of Employment, dito sinasabi kung kailan o ilang araw nga ba bago makuha ng isang empleyado ang nirequest niyang Certificate of Employment. And lastly, Section 4, Enforcement Mechanism. So if may mga claim po tayo or dispute po, saan po ba dapat tayo lumapit po? So madidiscuss din po ito sa topic po natin. So next slide po please. So first po na defined is ang Certificate of Employment. So it refers to a certificate from the employer indicating the dates of employees' engagement and termination of employment and types of work. So sinasabi po na ang Certificate of Employment or ang COE ay isang certificate na manggagaling po sa employer. At kung ano po ba ang nilalaman or nakasulat dito sa COE. Siyempre po, nakalagay po dito ang pangalan ng employee pagbibigyan nito. At nakalagay din po dito kung saan po ang company or employed si employee po. And then thirdly po, yung position or types of work. Kung ano po ang position niya, ano po ang kind ng work niya po. And then lastly po, yung dates kung kailan nagsimula at kung kailan nagtapos ang employment ng isang employee po. So, take note lang po natin, maaari ka pa rin pong makakuha ng certificate or maka-request po ng COE sa inyong kumpanya kahit po currently employed ka sa kanila. Baka lang po kasi isipin nyo na ang COE is nire-request lang po kapag umalis sa company. So, next slide po please. Ito po ang sample natin ng Certificate of Employment. So makikita po natin yung name ng employee na si Mr. Juan de la Cruz and pangalan po ng kumpanya, Fruit and Vegetable Corporation, and isa po siyang administrative officer sa kanyang kumpanya po, and siya po ay nagsimula noong January 5, 2018 at natapos po ang kanyang employment noong June 15, 2024 po. So, next slide po please. Ito po dapat yung nilalaman po. So, pangalawa pong defined is ang final pay, last pay, or back pay po na tinatawag. So, it refers to the sum or totality of all the wages or monetary benefits of the employee po. So, ibig sabihin po na ang final pay, last pay, or back pay po is ang kabuuang benefits na makukuha ng isang empleyado kapag siya ay umalis po sa kanyang kumpanya. Kahit po ano pong dahilan ng pag-alis ng isang empleyado ay dapat pong makakuha ng final pay or last pay or back pay na tinatawag po. So ano-ano pa po ba ang kabilang sa final pay? So next slide po please. Ito po. Una pong nabanggit is unpaid earned salary of the employee po. So ito po yung payment sa last working day ni employee. So for example po, the date today is February 12. So nag-resign po si employee po ngayong araw. So pumasok siya po from February 1 to 12 po. So hindi na po siya pinasahod ni employer po sa cut-off nila, which is yung po yung 15 po pa, or 15 or 16 or 17 nandun po kasi 15:30 po yung cut-off nila. So ito pong from February 1 to 12 po, ito po yung tinatawag na unpaid earned salary of the employee. So ito po ay maibibigay po or may include po sa final pay ni employee po. So next po is the unused service incentive leave or unused VL or SL or other leaves pursuant to the company policy. So kung may mga leaves pa po kayo na hindi nagamit, ay maaari rin po itong ma-convert sa cash at maisama po sa ating final pay. So next po is the prorated 13-month pay po. So kahit nag-resign ka na, ay mabibigyan ka pa rin po ng prorated 13-month pay. So paano po ba makompute po ang 13-month pay? Meron po tayong computation. Next slide po please. So ang prorated 13-month pay is equal to total basic salary earned during the year divided by 12 months. So may example po tayo. An employee has a basic monthly salary of 20,000 and has worked for 6 months in the calendar year. So kukunin po muna natin ang total annual basic salary earned po ni employee po. So monthly salary times month's work po. So kung isa-substitute po natin, 20,000 times 6 months is equal to 120,000. So this 120,000 po ay i-divide na natin sa 12 months. So 10,000 po ang prorated 13-month pay ng isang empleyado po na mai-include po sa final pay. So nagigets naman po. So next po, please. So, kasama rin po sa final pay ang separation pay po. Kung ikaw po ay entitled, makatanggap nito. So, dahil po ang separation pay is defined po as compensation given to an employee who is terminated from employment due to authorized causes po. Yung authorized causes po is like retrenchment, redundancy, ganun po siya. So, may example din po tayo ng computation ng separation pay po. Next slide po, please. So, sa separation pay po, meron po tayong dalawang computation. Una po, yung 1/2 month pay per year of service and 1 month pay per year of service po. So dito po sa unang example natin, 1/2 month pay per year of service po, ikaw po ay ma-entitled. Dapat po kinakailangan ikaw ay na-retrench po. So ang na-retrench po, ito po ay tumutukoy sa pagtanggal sa empleyado upang po mabawasan yung gastos para maiwasan po ang pagkalugi ng isang company po. So dito rin po sa computation ng 1/2 month pay per year of service po yung closure of business but not due to serious losses po. So next slide po is yung computation po ng separation pay. So an employee po with a salary of 20,000 and who has been employed in the company for 2 years and 7 months has been retrenched. So 20,000 divided by 2 times 3 years is equal to 30,000 po. So bakit po naging 3 years? Naging 3 years siya? Kasi po a fraction of at least 6 months being considered as 1 whole year po. So dito po sa separation po ng 1/2 month pay per year of service po, na ang 2 years and 6 months po is considered a 1 year po. So it becomes a 3 years po. So kung 20,000 po, ang 1/2 month pay po is i-divide po sa 2 times po sa 3 years, which is 30,000 po ang pwede pong makuha o maidadagdag po sa final pay. So dito naman po sa separation pay under 1 month salary times years of service po is dapat po para ma-entitled ka po dito, dapat kabilang ka po sa installation of labor saving devices and then redundancy po, which is yung sa pagtanggal po sa serbisyo ng isang empleyado dahil madami na po, excessive na po sa company po. And then yung impossible reinstatement ng employee to his or her former position po. So dito sa example natin, an employee with a salary of 20,000 and who has been employed in the company for 2 years and 7 months has been terminated due to redundancy. So note po ulit, a fraction of at least 6 months being considered as 1 whole year. So dito po 2 years and 7 months. So this 7 months is considered po a 1 whole year. So magiging 1 year po. So 2 years and 1 year is equal to 3 years. So let's substitute 20,000, which is yung 1 month salary niya po, times 3 years is equal to 60,000 po. And this 60,000 po is may include po sa final pay if under ka po ng separation pay ng due to redundancy po. So next slide po please. Yun po, meron din po at kasama rin po ang retirement pay. So this retirement pay po, para ma-entitle ka po dito, ikaw ay dapat ma-reach po at the age of 60 years old or more, but not beyond 65 years old, and have served the company for at least 5 years. And next slide po please, may computation din po tayo dito. So ang formula po ng retirement pay is daily rate times 22.5 times number of years and service. So ito po ang computation natin. Bakit po naging 22.5 days po? So 15 days based on the latest salary rate po, then 5 days service incentive leave, and 112 or 2.5 days of the 13-month pay. Kaya po ito po ang naging formula ng retirement pay po natin na is equal po sa 22.5 days. So let's substitute po yung sa formula po. So 645 yung daily rate niya po, times nyo po sa 22.5 days times number of years and service, for example po, 8 years. So ang makukuha po ng isang empleyado sa retirement pay niya po is 116,100 at ito po ay may include po sa final pay niya po. So next slide po please. Yun po, meron din po na may include din po yung income tax claim for the excess of taxes withheld if lang po applicable. Kung may mga na-withheld po si employer nyo po sa inyo, may bibigay din po, may include din po sa ating final pay. So, next po is yung other types of compensation stipulated in CBA. Ito po ay tumutukoy sa mga karagdagang benepisyo po or kabayaran na nakasaad po sa CBA. Kung may mga na agreement po kayo with your employer na under po sa CBA, maibibigay din po to at mai-include din po ito sa ating final pay po. So lastly po, yung cash bonds or any kind of deposit due to return to the employee if any. Kung applicable lang po at kung meron din po kayong cash bond or mga pera po na na-deposit po na sa through employee sa kanyang employer po, ay kailangan din pong ibalik sa employee kapag natapos na po ang kanyang contract po. So, naintindihan naman po. So, yun pong tatlo pong nabanggit ko po kanina na unpaid earned salary of the employee, unused SIL, or leaves or prorated 13-month pay po ay maaari pong makuha ito kung ikaw po ay nag-resign o nahiwalay sa company. Pero po itong separation pay, retirement pay, income tax claim for the excess of taxes withheld if applicable po, and other types of the compensation stipulated in the individual or collective agreement if any po, and the cash bonds or any kind of deposit due to the return to the employee is makukuha nyo po or maaari nyo pong makuha kung applicable ka po or entitled ka rito. So malinaw po? So next slide po please. So next po at huli pong dinefine sa labor advisory natin is ang 13-month pay po. So nakita naman po natin ang computation po kanina. So ito po ang meaning po o na-define po sa 13-month pay. It refers to 1/12 of the total basic salary earned by an employee within the calendar year. So yun po yung computation kanina. Total basic salary earned divide po sa 12 months. So yun po ang compute po ng 13-month pay. So next slide po. So section 2 na po tayo ng time of payment and or release of final pay. So dito na po malalaman natin kung kailan po ba dapat matanggap ang final pay. So sinabi po dito na ang final pay shall be released within 30 days from the date of separation or termination of employment unless there is a more favorable company policy or individual or collective agreement thereto. So uulitin ko lang po, naka-state po dito na ang final pay po shall be released within 30 days from the date of separation. So hindi po siya 2 months, hindi po siya 3 months, malinaw po, 30 days po unless po kung may favorable company policy po. So, ayun po. Malinaw po. Ayun po. So, next slide po please. Yun po. Section 3, issuance of certificate of employment. So, the employer shall issue a certificate of employment within 3 days from the time of the request of the employee. So, kung kayo po ay magre-request po kay employer ng COE, dapat po ma-issue ito ni employer within 3 days from the time na nag-request si employee. And then po, banggitin ko lang po ulit na pwede po tayong mag-request sa employer po natin ng COE kahit po hindi tayo na-terminate, kahit hindi po tayo umalis, or currently employed pa po tayo sa company, pwede pa rin po tayo mag-request po nito. So next po, last section na po ito, which is ang enforcement mechanism. So any dispute arising out or relating to final pay or issuance of certificate of employment shall be filed before the nearest Dole Regional Provincial Field Office po. So kung may mga issue kayo or claim dispute, hindi na ibigay ng employer nyo yung final pay, dahil lumagpas na sa 30 days, pwede po tayo or maaari po tayong lumapit sa pinakamalapit na DOLE, regional, provincial, or field office na nakakasakop po sa lugar ng ating kumpanya po. So, maaari din po tayong mag-request po or mag-submit po ng request for assistance sa ating single entry approach. So, next slide po. Ito po yung through sena.dole.gov.ph po. So, next slide po. Ayun. Yun lamang po at maraming salamat po. And sana po marami po tayong natutunan sa topic na ito, and then naging malinaw po kung ilang days po dapat makuha ang final pay at yung pag-issue po ng Certificate of Employment. At kung may mga iba't iba pa po tayong katanungan, maaari po tayong tumawag sa DOLE Hotline 1349. Maraming salamat po.
Yan. Maraming salamat po, Ms. Cardenas. Ngayon, dumako na tayo sa mga tanong mula sa ating viewers. And yung mga viewers, you can still submit po your questions through the comment section. And for the first question po, okay. For the first question, okay. Ano ang pagkakaiba ng final pay at separation pay?
So, ang pay po is it refers po dun sa kabuuan sahod o mga benepisyo po na narapat na ibigay po sa isang empleyado. Ano man po ang dahilan ng kanyang pagwawakas sa trabaho po. At di ba po nabanggit po kanina yung mga sumusunod po, like po yung hindi pa nabayarang sahod o huling sahod po sa kumpanya, cash conversion na hindi nagamit na SIL, and then cash conversion po ng mga hindi nagamit na sick leave, vacation leave, at iba pa pong leaves na hindi na ibibigay po ng isang company sa kanyang empleyado po. So, yung mga prorated 13-month pay po, separation pay if applicable, retirement pay if applicable po, and then yung income tax claim for the excess of taxes withheld if applicable din po sa empleyado, and then yung other types ng compensation if meron po, then yung cash bond or any kind of deposit that due to return for the employee po. So, ang ano naman po, ang separation pay naman po ay ito po yung empleyado na natanggal po sa kumpanya at ito po ang pay na binibigay po sa empleyado due to authorized causes po. Halimbawa po ng authorized causes na nabanggit kanina, yung tinatawag po nating retrenchment, redundancy, o yung closure po ng company na hindi kasalanan naman po ng isang empleyado po.
Okay po, malinaw Ms. Cardenas. Maraming salamat. May second question po tayo. Next is nag-immediate resignation po ako. Tanong ko lang po kung ano-ano dapat ang kasama sa aking final pay.
So, alinsunod po sa Labor Advisory number 6 series of 2020, yung tinapik po natin kanina, ang isang empleyado po na nag-immediate resignation ay maaari pong makakuha ng kabuuan po na nabanggit po kanina ng final pay po. Then, since po ang dahilan ng pag-alins ng isang employee po sa kumpanya ay immediate resignation, hindi po kasama sa inyong matatanggap ang separation pay at retirement pay po. Kasi di ba po nabanggit kanina ang separation pay and retirement pay if applicable lang po. Then, ang separation pay po ay binibigay lamang sa empleyado na natanggal po sa kumpanya due to authorized causes. And ang immediate resignation po ay hindi kasama sa immediate causes. And then, Kaya po, unless na lang po kung nakalagay po dun sa CBA natin na naka-include po na kapag nag-immediate resignation po ang isang employee, ay bibigyan pa rin po ng final pay.
Okay po. Ayan. So, ang next is, yung pangatlo po, may makukuha ba akong final pay kahit nag-awol or absence without leave ako?
Maaari po pa rin makakuha po ng final pay ang isang empleyado po. Alinsunod po ito sa Labor Advisory number 6, series of 2020, na bibilangin po mula sa final notice sa employer ng separation pay o termination ng employment po. So yes po, makakakuha pa rin po ng final pay.
Ayan, malinaw na kahit nag-awol or absent, sabi nga po ni Miss Cardenas, makakakuha pa rin po ng final pay. So, meron pa po tayong next question. Is there a separation pay due to death po?
Yes, ang separation pay po is a compensation given to an employee whose employment was terminated due to authorized causes po, like yung retrenchment, redundancy, nung naka-stipulate po ito dun sa labor code as renumbered po. So, ang death po ng employee po is not considered as an authorized cause po. So hindi po entitled ang death of the employee for the separation pay unless po kung may mga existing company policy, individual or collective bargaining agreement that provide a employee or bereaved family members for the separation pay po.
Ayan. Malinaw naman na yung nasabi ni Miss Cardenas na hindi siya considered as authorized cause yung death. So, hindi siya entitled sa separation pay unless nga po kung may CBA. So, ito pa po yung isang tanong, Miss Cardenas. HR lang po ba pwedeng mag-issue ng COE or pwede rin ang immediate supervisor like operations manager?
Depende po sa company po kung sino po ang authorized employee na inatasan niya po na mag-issue ng COE. Kung ang inatasan po ng company niya is ang immediate supervisor niya po or yung operation manager niya po, yes po. Kaya po, depende po ito kung sino po ang authorized employee po na inassign po ni company po.
Okay. So, doon naman is Cardenas, yung regarding sa 30 days na releasing of last pay, di ba po it should start na pag-cleared na si resigned employee?
Based po dun sa labor advisory na tinapik natin kanina, which is yung number 6 years of 2020 po, ang final pay po is defined or na time of payment niya po is dapat po ma-release within 30 days from the effective date of the separation or termination of the employment. Subalit po, kung may established na clearance po procedure ng company, pirma po tayo ng CBA po or may company policy po na ang basehan po is 30 days mula po sa clearance ng empleyado. Kung wala naman po na CBA dito, so mag-stick po tayo for the 30 days. Pero if meron po, so yung CBA po or yung agreement po natin with the employee po, yung time para sa time ng release po ng final pay.
Okay. Ito, number 8 question, dapat ba ang ikaltas sa final pay ang inutang sa trabaho?
Ayun din po, kung may mga company policy po o kung may mga agreement binds the parties po, yes po. Dahil karapatan din po ng employer po na magkaroon po ng due process po kasi sa pagproseso ng clearance niya po. So kasi po kung may utang pa po ang isang empleyado po, then nakalagay po sa company policy niya na dapat po munang bayaran. So kailangan pa po nating asikasuhin ito and then bayaran po para matanggap po ni employee po yung final pay niya.
Okay, maraming salamat. And is it legal po ba na naka-include sa COE ang mga pending obligations ng isang resigned employee?
Base po sa labor advisory at na-discuss po natin kanina na ang mga information po na dapat kasama sa COE ay ang pangalan ng employee po, name ng company at position or types of work, at yung dates kung kailan siya nag-start at kung kailan siya mata-terminate po sa employment po. And then yung tinatanong po kung ma-include po yung pending obligations po, wala naman pong nakalagay dun sa dinefine po or dun sa labor advisory na dapat po ma-include ang pending obligation sa COE po.
Okay, malinaw naman yon. So, ito pang 10. Ano ba ang dapat gawin kapag matagal nang hindi, ayan, maraming question ganito, di ba, dun sa ask natin na Gmail, email. So, ito, yung pang 10, ano ba ang dapat gawin kapag matagal nang hindi ibinibigay ang final pay? So, ano pong sagot, Miss Cardenas?
Yes po, dun po sa huling nabanggit po na Section 4 ng Labor Advisory Number 6, Series of 2020 po, na dun sa enforcement mechanism po na ang 30 days po dapat po mai-release ang final pay. Pag po tumagal o lumipas po ng 30 days na hindi po nabayaran ang final pay, yun po maaari na po tayong dumulog sa DOLE, regional or field office na nakakasakop po sa ating lugar. At pwede rin po tayo mag-request or mag-submit ng request for assistance sa SENA po, yung single entry approach, which is po yung sena.dole.gov.ph po.
Okay. Then, ito. Required po bang may selyo ang COE? Valid pa din ba kung walang selyo?
Di po kinakailangan na magkaroon po ng selyo ang Certificate of Employment po. Ang pangunahing layunin lang po ng Certificate of Employment po ay mapatunayan po na ikaw ay nagtatrabaho o naging empleyado po sa kumpanya. Sapat na po ang pirma ng isang authorized na empleyado po ng company. Halimbawa po nito is ang HR po. Yun lang po.
Okay, ito po next. Paano pala pag namatay yung employee due to illness? Wala siyang makukuha sa, parang nasagot na to kanina. Paano pala pag namatay? Sige. Iba yung tanong kanina. So ito muna, due to illness, wala siyang makukuha sa company like separation pay?
Sa ganitong sitwasyon po, ang final pay po ng empleyadong namatay ay maaari pong ibigay ng direkta sa heirs ng namayapang empleyado po. Ito po ay alinsunod sa Article 105B ng Labor Code of the Philippines kung saan nakasaad po dito na the employer may pay the wages of the deceased worker to the heirs of the latter without the necessity of the intestate proceedings po. So the claimants, if they are all of age, shall execute an affidavit attesting to their relationship to the deceased and the fact that they are his heirs to the exclusion of all the persons. If any of the heirs is minor, the affidavit shall be executed on his behalf by natural guardian or next of kin. The affidavit shall be presented to the employer who shall make payment through the Secretary of Labor and Employment or his representative. The representative of Secretary of Labor and Employment shall act as referee in dividing the amount paid among the heirs. So, Ang final pay po yung maaari pong ibigay ng direkta po sa ears po. So, yun po.
Okay. Paano daw po pag hindi pa tapos yung clearance? Kahit more than 30 days na dahil may accountabilities pa.
Ayun po, yung clearance position has legal basis po. And ang law po natin is nagsusupport sa employer's institution of clearance procedures before po the release of wages, including po yung final pay. So ito po ay base dun sa jurisprudence natin na Milan v. National Labor Relations Commission, GR number 2029-61, February 4, 2015 po.
Okay. So last question po, Ms. Cardenas. Legal po ba ang quit claim na pinipirmahan kapag nag-separate na sa company?
Maaari pong legal ang pinirmang separation pay kung pag nag-execute po nito ay alinsunod sa batas po. While quit claims are frowned upon for being contrary to the public policy, the Supreme Court has nevertheless recognized the legitimate waivers that represent a voluntary and reasonable settlement of a worker's claim where the waiver was voluntarily executed with a full understanding thereof. And the consideration po ng quit claim is credible and reasonable, and yung transaction po must be recognized as a valid and binding undertaking po.
Ayan, maraming salamat. Dahil ang dami pang tanong sa comment section, hindi na muna natin lahat masasagot on air. Pero don't worry po, our social media team will answer more questions sa comment section. So maraming salamat po, Ms. Diana Cardenas, sa napakalinaw at detalyadong discussion tungkol sa final pay. Siguradong mas maraming ng empleyado ang mas nakakaalam ng kanilang rights pagdating sa topic na ito. For more inquiries po about labor standards, working conditions, at iba pang employee rights, you may email us at bwc.dole.gov.ph or tumawag po tayo sa Dole Hotline 1349. So stay updated po tayo again. Don't forget to like, follow, and share our Facebook page para hindi mahuli sa mga announcements at susunod na webinars. So, on behalf of Dole BWC at ng ating speaker, Ms. Diana E. Cardenas, maraming salamat sa inyong suporta. Kita-kits ulit sa ating 2 p.m. habit tuwing Miyerkules ang webinar Wednesday. Spread the word, stay informed, and stay empowered. Again, I'm Jovelyn V.S. Guerra, your moderator for this program. See you again next episode. Ang ating topic ay Season 3, Episode 4, Understanding OSH Standards Reports. Maraming salamat at magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang impormasyon, maaari po tayong tumawag sa Dole Hotline 1349 o sumuni sa mga Dole Regional Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.